Hello everyone, welcome to this reflection for Wednesday the 5th of June. My name's Val and I want to talk about deeds. Now last Sunday our minister quoted, "Thoughts and words don't ease the pain. Unless there is action, all is in vain. Faith proves itself in deeds." And this got me thinking about showing how you practice your religion, to choose and show how you live and help others, and that small things can have an amazing effect. This week we're commemorating D-Day, when the Allied nations worked hard, when villages had to be abandoned, dummy paratroopers and tanks made in order to invade Europe. And this signaled the beginning of the end of World War II. But many lost their lives. But before World War II, back in 1938, some people saw what was happening in Eastern Europe. Refugees were living in terrible conditions, for example, in Prague. And one stockbroker from Maidenhead, working in London, decided that something had to be done. And with his friends, they attempted to save these young refugees. He worked tirelessly to ensure money was raised and homes found for 699 children. He had foresight and he was good at planning. The British government eventually agreed to allow 10,000 minors to come to Britain. But this was until war broke out and then the borders closed. Elsewhere, heroes like Irene Sendler in the Polish ghettos. She saved thousands of orphans in those ghettos and was tortured. Florence Nightingale and Truus Weissmuller, they managed to persuade the Germans to let thousands of children get to Holland, Belgium, and then Britain. And afterwards, these ladies acknowledged that the German officers appreciated the children's needs. These women went above and beyond reasonable expectations, often at great risk. Yet Nicky Winton was modest about his deeds and always wished he could have saved more children. But he saw that something needed to be done against a ticking clock. His family only discovered his deeds in the 1980s, and he featured in the very moving TV program, attended by hundreds of the children he'd saved, who were now adults. This has now been made into a film with Anthony Hopkins. Nicky kept a scrapbook with all the names and photos, and that book is now in Israel. He lived to the age of 106. But some people are now saying, oh, why is the UN not doing more to protect all these children, refugees in Gaza? Listening to my brother's reflections on disability last week reminded me of when I had to use crutches, having fractured my Achilles tendon. At work I couldn't even carry a cup of tea with crutches, but fortunately Perth Infirmary gave me a trolley so I could scoot up and down the corridors. But I depended on someone driving me to work, and the hospital visits to change the plaster on my leg every 2 weeks. Another hero who realised what soldiers with spine injuries needed was Ludwig Gutmann. And what an appropriate name. This German neurologist fled Nazi Germany before World War II and came to Oxford. Despite much opposition, he got the paraplegic soldiers doing physical activities, and in 1948 he organised an international sports day for the disabled at Stoke Mandeville, the forerunner of the current Paralympic Games. His story has also been made into a film, The Best of Men, in 2012, and Gutmann is excellently played by Eddie Marsan. Cinema can help teach us history and remind us that, as Nicky Winton said, we all have the power to do something. Thank you. Have a good week.